Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good. How are you? This is the second week in a row you are starting the podcast after a day of traveling.
And I'd like to not make that a habit. I think this is the last time I'll be traveling right before a podcast recording until at least December holiday time when I go back to Atlanta. But I feel good, especially since I'm just getting back from Vegas for our bachelorette party, which, drinking was involved. But I'm feeling centered.
Oh, I'm ashamed. Your mother might be on the live chat. Does she know that you consume alcohol?
She does. I think she's made peace with it, is fine with it, supports me no matter what.
Well, you're in my prayers. That's all I'm going to say.
Great. All right. Keep praying, babe, because I'll keep drinking. Not for a few days, though. My God. Because she needs a break.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Two Gay Matts podcast. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And we are now into November, as you can tell from the brown that I'm wearing.
Yes, very autumnal.
I know, very Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes, I look good in my fall colors.
It's true.
Matt Palmer, it seems like you had a very eventful week. What did you do?
I mean, if by week you mean weekend, then yes, I did have quite the eventful weekend. So it was my friend Sarah's bachelorette party this weekend, and we all went to Vegas. I am going to admit here, I was a little nervous just because Vegas bachelorette feels like a lot of pressure to I don't know. It just felt like, I'm not really a going out clubbing kind of person in general. So I didn't know if it was going to be my vibe. It was so lovely, so much fun. She had the best time. It was just such a good group of people. It's always nice when you meet friends of friends who you haven't met yet, but you get a whole circle together. And it's I get why you guys are friends.
Okay.
We can connect on our own level. It just was lovely meeting a lot of the ladies there. I was staying in a room with my friends Joe and Ernesto, two fellow gays. And so we were the gays on the trip with a bunch of ladies. And we had a great time. Friday night, we went to a rum tasting / burlesque experience. I mean, it's not even a bar. It's you walk around, there are different rooms. People are doing magic and burlesque and everything.
For some reason, I thought you were about to say people were doing meth. I heard that people were doing meth, and I was like, why did my brain automatically go to that?
I have no idea.
My heart literally stopped.
Also, I'm not sure if I would know if someone, is that the one with the spoon?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, but yes, we were walking through. It was a rum experience, but they had the strongest rums in the world, and I had 4 different flavors, different shots. One was this is 120 proof, which is just a lot. And so that was a moment, but it was nice to see everyone and meet everyone the first night. And then yesterday we went to brunch, and you'd be proud of me at the buffet. I think I did pretty well.
Oh, did you pack it in?
I got 3 plates.
Oh, that's not enough.
I think I was thinking literally as I was sitting there with my 3rd plate, I was I think Matt Steele would be proud.
You're a fucking amateur.
I think I did pretty well. I got good dessert.
I will never forget going to a buffet with Matt Palmer and friends and everything, and they were all little Matt Steele is on his 10th plate.
It was shocking. No one had seen anything like it. So I thought, again, I was proud of myself, and I have to give a big shout out. I think the place is called Wooden Spoon, and they have really great... Oh, have you been there?
Is it the place at the Cosmopolitan?
I don't remember what hotel we were at. It could have been. But, and I got really good French toast. That was maybe cinnamon French toast. It was just a lovely, flavorful, threw that maple syrup on. It was just a really great part of the long meal.
Wicked Spoon.
Wicked Spoon.
That's where we went, where I had 10 plates of stuff.
Is it? Okay. Well, it's
best
still going.
meal in Vegas,
it's
guys. I'm telling you, it's a great buffet.
I wish they were promoting us. I wish
I know, yeah.
being paid to say that, but we're not. And then last night was the big going out night. And so we go out to this club called XS, and they're Diplo's coming, Diplo's playing, and he's coming on at 2 a.m.
All right,
so
guys.
I think we probably got there around 11, and I like to get to bed. But I was I need to rally. I need to be up. This is Sarah's, it's a one-time thing. Sarah's bachelorette. It's a big deal. And so we also got a table, which had a lovely little room off of the club, which had heaters because it was freezing. And so I needed a heater. I was sitting with the heater, had some alcohol, helped go towards the amount that we had to drink to pay off the room, whatever. And so then we go out into the club and we're dancing. We're having fun. I'm probably still up at 1:30. But again, this is daylight savings. So as I look down, I'm like, wait, how is it 1 a.m.
Oh,
again?
God, they made him come on at 2 during daylight. That's rude.
I think they made him come on at 1 a.m. part 2.
1 a.m. part 2? Oh, thank God.
That's what I think it was.
Okay.
And we were dancing. It was 1 a.m. again. And I was like, okay, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I was dancing, and there was this girl by us who I think was just trying to make friends with some gays. And so to my friend Ernesto, she's like, oh my God, I just have to tell you, I love your top. And I was like, okay, whatever. We're still dancing with our friend Sarah. Best of luck, ma'am. And then she turns to me and she's like, oh my God, I just have to tell you, you've got cakes. And I'm like, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, if you're going for gay friendship, like I'm all booked up. Like, I don't need an additional Vegas random lady who's opening with like what my ass looks like tonight. And so I was like, you know what? I think that's it. I think I'm ready to head home. I've had a good bit to drink, and it's time to make my way back to the Planet Hollywood room. So I was first in the gay room back there asleep, and I woke up to this morning feeling great. And I appreciate we had this thing called Liquid IV. And so I woke up and did not have a hangover, and it was just a lovely time for all.
Well, you look great, and I do have to agree with the girl. The cakes are great.
I mean, I appreciate it, but it's like, congratulations, you have eyes. Like, I don't need...
God, I hate when people compliment my ass because it's obvious. What do you want me to do?
It just is like, I'm glad that I went out and did the party thing, but to me, it's like, man, people who do that on the regular, it's like...
Insane.
You have to be young, right?
It's better than the bachelorette party that I went to in Vegas back in 2015. I went because I love my friend Alex, whose wedding we were celebrating, but also because we were seeing Britney.
I mean, hello.
And so it was my job to make sure that our good friend didn't die.
Yes.
Because the one good friend I have, who we also went with, likes to party. And so I am the one who doesn't drink. So it was like, watch over her. And she's gotten a little older and she can't drink as much as she used to. And she can also not wear high heels as high as she once used to be able to do because her feet hurt after 5 minutes. So I legitimately thought I was going to die that night. Take the journey from the club where we went to back to our hotel room. I legitimately thought we were going to die.
And see,
it was a mess.
I was nervous about events like that happening, but I feel like since we are all in our 30s and have made peace with the fact that we can't drink like we used to and the ladies can't wear the heels as high, everyone was very prepared. And certain groups went home earlier than me. There was a group that went home with me. A group went home later. No one was upset. There was no drama just because we're old enough now to be like, everyone can do what they do, and I want everyone to have a good time, and that's what's most important.
The big drama of that night with me and her was she wanted pizza and we couldn't find any. Oh man, just breakdowns in the street, and she wanted to take her shoes off at the club, but the club wouldn't let her, and she wasn't allowed to lean on anything at the club, and because at the Vegas clubs they make sure you don't lean. If they want to upkeep an image, and so if you lean on the wall, they yell at you.
That's crazy.
And it's like my poor friend just wanted to lean on the wall. She wanted to take her damn shoes off, but I survived it.
You did.
I am here today.
Matt Steele.
Yes.
How was your week?
My week was good. It was a little rough on my face.
Wait, what happened to your face?
Horrible. My electric razor, because I am an electric razor shaver. Yes. And if you know me, you know that I have to shave my face every single day.
Which is a lot.
I hate the feeling of facial hair growing on my face.
But it looks good when you have it.
It looks great. It's a beautiful color. It is even. It's
What's wrong?
Gorgeous.
What's the problem?
I don't know. My testosterone levels must be great because my facial hair is gorgeous, but damn it, I do not want it anywhere on me. Because I just hate the feeling of it. And so I love it on another guy when it's rubbing on my face, but on my face myself, no. So I, have my electric razor every day. First thing I do every day. It lost its charge this week. And so
I love that this is your news.
Because for a couple days before the electric razor that I ordered on Amazon came in, because the other electric razors that I could buy at Walgreens were all expensive. And so I was like, I'll wait a couple days to get the $25 one to be shipped to me. But that was 3 days that I had to shave with an actual razor.
I hate that.
And when, I haven't done it since God, for years. And so
did you cut yourself?
Oh, it goes near my face and I start to bleed. So devastating. My face was in a lot of pain for 3 days, but don't worry, I muddled through. My face is in recovery now. I got my razor. It works flawlessly. Look at me now. So that was the drama of the week. What else did I do?
Big drama.
Hey, it was rough.
High stakes.
It was rough. There was a lot of blood. I lost a lot of blood here.
Well, that's too bad.
And so I also hung out with my friend Raul the night before Halloween after we recorded last week's podcast. And we watched a scary movie called Sinister from 2012, which was very good. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I worked throughout Halloween. I worked again this weekend, and it was a nice, relaxing week. I
love it.
It was nice, except for the face.
I mean, it looks great today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also for Halloween, my friends Joe and his boyfriend Tim came over, and we made ravioli. Mostly they made it, but we got 15 different sets of kids that came to the door asking for candy. I was so happy. I was like nervous. I was like, what should I say? And they're just like, just say Happy Halloween, and like asking about their costumes. I'd be like, Happy Halloween, what are you? You look great. And like, it just was like, oh, I've never in life been in an apartment in which we'd actually get trick-or-treaters, and it was truly a joy.
And suddenly being inundated with children, like I always forget how long it's been since I've had to have a conversation with a child,
right,
until I'm like with a child and I'm like, wait, I'm not used to talking to children.
I know.
How do I do this?
I know.
So it's like a different language.
Because it's like, I don't want to ask about your costume if like I know what it is or I don't know what it is. So I was just like, I'm not asking about the costumes. That seems like a little hectic.
Okay.
I will say one child read me pretty well when I opened the door and I was like, oh, you guys look great. They were like, what are you dressed as? I was like, I'm dressed as me. I'm an adult.
Wow.
Take the candy and get out of here.
You should have just like taken that candy back and just been like, I'm dressed like a taker backer. Thank you.
Don't be rude. Close this door. So okay, should we hop in?
Let's hop in.
The news for idiots.
Yeah, it's a sad week in news.
It is a sad, dark week in news.
Yeah.
So apparently, the actor who was on Heartstopper, this young man named Kit Connor, who, reminder, is 18 years old, must have been getting tweets like saying like, oh my gosh, you're queer baiting. You're just a straight guy playing this gay role, a bi role. I guess a real bisexual person could be playing this. And like, it's not fair just because, again, he's 18. He has not come out publicly as an actor, as a person. So and I guess it was so much that he had left Twitter for a minute.
And I want to say that like he would post pictures with girls,
yes,
like girls who he was either friends with or who knows. It's
right,
none of our business.
Right.
And people were like, you're posting pictures with a girl now. What does this mean? You must be queer baiting. And apparently I want to say I saw somewhere that like some of the girls he would post pictures with would get like death threats or would get like threatened or like DM'd or something like that. A mess.
Okay. And so then he jumps back on Twitter and says, back for a minute, I'm bi. Congrats for forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. I think some of you missed the point of the show. Bye. It's just very sad and crazy. I realize and we're proponents of wanting queer people to play queer roles, but also we're not proponents of like forcibly outing children.
Yeah.
So if you don't know a person's sexuality, like just leave them alone and let them come out on their own time. And that includes celebrities. Like, I feel like these parasocial relationships that people have with people that they feel like they know through the TV screen, it's like, sweetie, that's not real. You don't know this person. Like, do not harass them on the internet because you think they may not be gay. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? You don't know this person. You're a loser.
Jesus Christ.
If you are harassing
an 18-year-old
poor
child
boy for this, like, you're a fucking loser. Like, come on. Like, get a damn life. I just feel bad that he felt like he had to do this because you know, I don't think he did. Like I think he could have, you know, just
he could have. But imagine opening up your Instagram or opening up your Twitter every time you do, being inundated with this shit, and like having friends not want to take pictures with you because they might get death threats. Like, it's just wild. Like, leave these people alone. Yeah, is the long and short.
I remember, like, it reminds me of like Jodie Foster's Golden Globe speech when she won the oh god, what's their big Lifetime Achievement Award? I forget, but and back in 2012, I believe, she gave a speech saying that, like, you know, everyone for years has been like screaming at me to come out, and she's like, but I've already done it, so I'm not going to because I deserve my privacy. And so it's like, yeah, like, these celebrities, they deserve their privacy. You are not expected to be a part of their lives in any way other than like them entertaining you. Yes. So get a life. Come on,
it's just wild. Especially this person's so young.
He's so young.
What did you know at 18? Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of losers, big loser of the week, and I hate that we're saying this so soon into her comeback, Rihanna. Like, okay, Matt Steele was in town when I was not to talk about the song that is going to be in the Black Panther movie, Lift Me Up, I believe is what it's called. Matt Steele apparently, haven't watched the video, but apparently was nice about it and saw the good things and was like, understood this is a soundtrack song. This is, you know, something being dedicated to Chadwick Boseman. But we can all agree it sounds like a little campfire round. Like, it's not a real song.
I think it's nice. I like it for what it is. Have I listened to it again? No.
Of course you have.
Yeah. If it was like the first single off a new album, I have questions.
But it's like, I could forgive that. The song isn't something I'll replay. But again, it's for a special case, a special cause. Sure. All things we can forgive. Then it comes out. there's a leak and there's like a rumor coming out that Johnny Depp is going to appear in Rihanna's upcoming Savage X Fenty Volume 4 fashion show, and it is later confirmed by Variety. And it's just like, okay, the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, we were just talking about how we didn't comment on it much because it was like, it seems like there's no good answer here. There's no hero in this story. Everyone's a villain. And even if Johnny Depp technically won the case, I don't feel like he has been absolved of his crimes. I don't think the idea that Johnny Depp is completely innocent is on the table because he didn't win every count. Like, she won some. So the idea that we are first the VMAs and now a Rihanna-backed fashion show is propping this man up who, like, supposedly is an abuser, allegedly. It's just disheartening because it's like you expect Rihanna to be on the right side of history, and maybe that's unfair of us to do, but it's like I've supported her through times and trials and have argued down people who are supporting people that abused her. I don't know. It just is like, as a victim of abuse herself, it is a little disheartening to see this. And maybe she has different feelings about the trial and about him than I do, but it's just like, why are we propping this person up?
Yeah, it's
at
like
this point?
It's like, okay, Rihanna, even if you have whatever opinions on the trial that you might have, everyone's had an opinion at the time, and it was the
except
most
us, really.
except for us. Like, and it was the most obnoxious thing ever. I'm so glad that is all behind us.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how this comes across. Like, you would understand the optics of it, and so you're clearly doing this as like a gimmicky thing because you know so many people were team Johnny Depp in this situation, or you know that people will be talking about it and it'll create buzz. And it's like, Rihanna, you don't have to do this. Like, if you want to create buzz and garner buzz to get more money, do what Taylor does and sell some clocks. Like, like, I don't know. There are different ways to go about it.
Right.
I just think this was a little tasteless and
unnecessary
and beneath you.
And like, it was so out of the blue. It just doesn't make sense. And it feels like to me that Johnny Depp's team is reaching out to these people like MTV and Rihanna that are putting on these high profile shows, and they're just accepting the offer because I guess they remember him being an A-list movie star. And it goes without saying, Johnny Depp's had better days looks wise. Do I need to see him in Savage X Fenty underwear right now? I don't think so. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well,
more things we don't like, because that's the theme of the week. Shit we don't like. Apparently, Drake has put out a new album with it's a duet album with another rapper Drake and 21 Savage's new album, and there's a line on Circo Loco, I guess is the song, where the bitch lie about getting shot, but she is stallion. Like, so he, for some reason, is calling out Megan Thee Stallion, supporting Tory Lanez, like, saying that she's lying based on what? I don't understand. It just is like, Tory Lanez was never popular. Why is someone as huge as Drake trying to back this, like, tiny little man who barely
shot another person?
Who
shot this Megan Thee Stallion.
And I think there's another line on the record in which he calls, like, Serena Williams' husband a groupie because he's like supportive of her and her career and like roots for her from the sidelines, which, by the way, Drake also did. There were rumors of Drake and Serena Williams being together, and there's so many pictures of him just like woo cheering in the background. It's like, and he's always sucking up to so many sports figures, so many athletes. It's like, Drake, you're a groupie and you're not married to anybody. Like, you do this all the time. So why he goes out of his way to tear down these like powerful black women? It's just like, I don't need actual real reasons to like find Drake annoying. And here he's giving them to us.
Yeah, it's just, again, like another tasteless thing that a celebrity can do. And also it's like, Drake, another album? This is your second in the span of 5 months?
And what
That's
songs?
Crazy. Like, you are all just trying to crank out shit, and like, you don't need to. Like, you are a talented enough and successful enough artist where like, you can let the people wait.
It's like, you can really take your time and try to write something great instead of just throwing any shit out on Spotify knowing that it'll get streams and make you money. Like, does the quality of the art not matter anymore?
Yeah, because and then in that art, you're like, oh, if I like make a dig at Megan Thee Stallion, people will talk about it, and it's just like, this is beneath you. This is beneath you.
It is.
Like, whatever.
As someone who was shot on Degrassi, he should know this is a very serious event.
For real, Drake. My God. Oh my God.
I know, it's disgusting.
That was a rough day.
Another bad day is every day since Elon Musk has purchase Twitter. I feel like there's more and more news about how what a terrible job he's doing. I feel like there were massive layoffs on Friday. I heard that 50% of the Twitter staff was laid off. Every other tweet I saw was like, well, I'm out. I want to thank all my team. We all got laid off today, XYZ. There's also rumors circulating that since then, some have been attempted to get hired back because they're like, oops, no one can do the shit that we were supposed to do. And there's also the big hubbub around the like verification check and the fact that Twitter Blue now will include a verification check, so any person in the world can just pay $8 a month because they're now charging for it to be verified on Twitter. Which, like, I thought the whole point of verification is like, oh, there are gonna be so many fake Beyoncés out there, we should verify the real one so we know it's really coming from her. But alas, that is no longer the case.
Yeah, and now it's like if you pay for this verification, it's saying that your tweets will be promoted. And it's like, Elon Musk, you were all about like, oh, we need to make Twitter all about free speech and everything. This is not free. Like,
it's the opposite of that.
If you are like giving special stuff to the people who are paying for the service, like that's just absurd. Like that's not free speech. Like that's crazy, and it's just rich people are just so bored.
I know.
They get so bored, and instead of like using their talents for the thing that they're talented at, like
it's also, by the way, not talent, money.
Well, that money, yes, but it's like Elon, like you could have just been that Tesla guy, and he did good things for like the environment, like with the Teslas and all that stuff like that. It's like you could have just been that, and people would have been like, oh, cool. But instead, you're like, oh no, I need more power, I need more influence, I need more people to like me, so I'm gonna branch out and do all this other stuff that I'm not qualified to do in the slightest. And now you are watching this guy spiral in real time and like mess up an entire business.
I know.
Like you're seeing, and today he announced, because so many people in retaliation changed their Twitter names to Elon Musk and were just like tweeting ridiculous things. And then he suspended their account, or like, not he, I guess, but like Twitter suspended their accounts and everything. And it's like, how is this free speech, Elon Musk? And it's saying that he tweeted today, like anyone who is
like a parody account,
all the parody accounts, if it doesn't say parody account in your bio, like your account's going to get suspended or whatever. It's just like, oh, so you are just completely negating the entire reason why you quote unquote wanted to buy Twitter. I mean, and just having it just be the giant mess that we all knew that it would be.
Right. And what I heard is that he put an offer out that was like incredibly, insanely overpriced, tried to take it back, and they like Twitter threatened to sue him if he did not actually go through with the purchase. So he's been forced into this, and he's truly just tanking it. Like he's ruining the platform. It's going to make no sense very soon. And it's like, was this all necessary? Like, did you get, just because you wanted more power, more influence, just like, why can't rich people be quiet? Like, just like sit with your money, go on some vacations, like help the planet in some way.
You want to know who's rich and quiet? Beyonce.
Oh,
she's the quietest of them all.
Maybe too quiet because I'd love some visuals.
But yeah, it's just like he just lit $44 billion on fire. And that interaction with Stephen King where he's like, well, if you don't want to pay $20, how about $8? It's like, dude,
I know.
Have some pride. Like, don't try to negotiate this in public.
Have you seen this Hercules thing?
I forgot about this.
Disney's live action Hercules will be more experimental and inspired by TikTok, says producer Joe Russo. Joe Russo of the Russo brothers did produce or direct, I don't even know, some episodes of Happy Endings. I think he's done some Marvel shit like that is more important to him, but I don't care about. But I'm going to trust him a bit here, but I'm nervous because the full quote is, there are questions about how you translate Hercules as a musical. Audiences today have been trained by TikTok, right? What is their expectation of what that musical looks like and feels like? That can be a lot of fun and help us push the boundaries a little bit on how you execute a modern musical. What does TikTok have to do with this?
I have no clue. All I'm thinking of is like, is this musical like on our big screens going to be blurry with the audio not syncing to the visual?
It could
because that's what I see when I go on TikTok.
The aspect ratio could be vertical, just be the middle of the screen.
I will kill myself if that happens. And it's so crazy because this year, like people are like, oh, movies are dead. Movies are dead. And it's like, or movies that aren't Marvel movies are dead. And it's like this year proves that they are not. Like this year, the success success of Maverick, of Everything Everywhere All at Once, the success of the George Clooney, Julia Roberts rom-com, which is making millions of dollars. Like, it's this year is showing that, like, oh wait, no, people actually want to go to them. Like, we were kind of wrong about this. Like,
totally.
You can make successful blockbusters again. And so the Russos were producers on Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, okay.
So like you would think that they would
know that.
And I don't know, like the whole like inspired by TikTok thing. It's like, yeah, like TikTok is such a huge platform for young people.
Right.
But are young people wanting to go out in droves to see like a movie that's TikTok?
No, because it's like the millennials, like people our age and maybe a little bit, I don't know, around our age, the people who grew up with the animated version of Hercules, or the target demographic that is going to take their whole family with them to see this movie.
Yeah, and
so the TikTok kids don't care.
The TikTok kids, the thing is now, like, if you consume content on a specific platform, you don't cross over.
Right.
Like, there are people who know me and Matt Palmer through our TikTok, which is
wild
because
it's truly just edited versions of videos that are on top of each other and they're 2-minute clips.
Yeah, like we get people being like, oh, I love your TikTok. And it's like, wait, our TikTok?
It's like, what TikTok?
Because that's how people watch things. Like, they don't go on YouTube. I guess to some TikTok people, they're like, YouTube, that's for the oldies.
Right.
You know? And so, like, I don't know how successful that will be. I always encourage experimentation with art. So I guess we shall see. If this shit is vertical, though, I will get vertical in my seat and walk out.
I was kidding. There's no way it's going to be vertical. That would be hilarious, though.
Oh, it would be insane.
I just want to shout this out. This isn't big news, but I just liked the fact that it happened. Jennifer Lawrence dropped out of the Elizabeth Holmes movie Bad Blood after watching Amanda Seyfried in The Dropout. She basically said, I thought she was terrific. I was like, yeah, we don't need to redo that. She did it. And I wish we all would take this into account when doing movies. I feel like when things are in production or in pre-production, whatever way, it's happened since the 90s with Deep Impact and Armageddon. The same movies are getting made. The same stories, true to life stories now, are getting told as documentaries and miniseries. But as soon as one comes out and it's great, let's just drop the others. Like, we don't need 8 different versions of like what happened at the Fyre Fest.
So close to each other.
So close. It's like, I get
at least give it a decade.
And everyone, I understand, wants to make money, but like, it's basically like the first person who does it right is going to make all the money anyways. So why would you want your B-list knockoff version out there? And I appreciate Jennifer Lawrence just being like, she did a great job. It's like, she did it. That is the version that's needed in the world. I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Love that for her. Lastly, I just need to talk about 2 celebrities who passed away this week, which are very sad. Takeoff from Migos was tragically killed, I believe, the night of Halloween at a bowling alley. And it just is devastating. He was 28 years old, which is so very young. And I don't know, Migos, you can't talk about modern music that is inspired by hip hop, which, by the way, is every genre, without talking about Migos. There was a time there that everything they put out turned to gold. They collaborated with Beyonce and Jay-Z, Katy Perry, like big pop people that we very much care about. That fact that another rapper's life has ended so tragically and so young, it just really turns my stomach. Things need to change. I don't know how this has become so commonplace for, rappers of this generation. Like, when we were growing up, it was like Tupac and Biggie, and like that was kind of the big sad moment there. But I feel like it just is happening so frequently, and this is probably the biggest name that has passed away, but it still is just devastating, and that things need to change somehow, some way, because his family, his friends didn't deserve this. This was like a senseless act of violence that I heard was like the end of a dice game. And also, this goes into TMZ can go fuck themselves.
Oh, God.
Don't ever click a TMZ link. It is truly the garbage fire of the internet. The fact that they are showing images of this deceased human being who lived a real full life with people who loved him. It's like the same shit they were doing with Kobe. It's just like, don't ever click a TMZ link. That's all I ask of you.
Yeah.
So very sad there. And then lastly, we heard Aaron Carter passed away at 34. And I believe that was yesterday, because I believe it was while I was in Vegas. And Like, it's hard to explain to people who didn't grow up at that time, but he was all over the Disney Channel. Like, he was, Nick Carter's little brother. So the Backstreet Boys were obviously huge. He put out his first record, I think, when he was 9.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God, what these child performers go through. And like, it's so easy to go down such a dark, hard path. And I don't know. I feel like there are people out there who found his addiction issues or like his appearance like funny, and I don't think that it's funny. I think that what he was going through is very real and very disheartening and upsetting.
Yeah, he had a very, very hard life, especially like after his career, and I actually met him before. I met him at a Halloween party back when he was in the Fantastics off Broadway and everything. And he was very nice, and so it's just really, it's so sad. And my heart goes out to all these people's families and everything, because I can't imagine what that's like.
Right.
Especially like after just years of things not going well. I'm sure there were so many ups and downs and everything.
Right.
And to have it just end so suddenly is, I'm sure, just heartbreaking.
It's just tragic. So everyone be safe and hold your family and friends close. And we'll be back in just a moment with more Two Gay Mats.
Are we warm?
I think we're warm.
We're warm. We're back.
We are back. Welcome back to the Two Gay Mats podcast. There was one item that I wanted to discuss, and I just didn't have it available to me. There's confirmation kind of that the visuals from Beyonce are really coming. Sid, the producer of Plastic Off the Sofa, shared that the flowers that Beyonce sent to her recently, the note reads, "Thank you for contributing so much to the film. I'm looking at the footage and you're incredible. I'm forever grateful, B." I realize that we say this every week, but the visuals aren't coming. It's happening. They exist. I believe it will happen. I can't wait for them. I wonder, because Sid is a producer on Plastic Off the Sofa, like, what did Sid do visually? Like, I don't understand Sid's contribution to the film. And
Don't
why?
know.
Don't know.
But you want to know what film is not going to be inspired by TikTok?
Which one?
The visuals for Renaissance, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be cinema.
I mean,
if it's released in theaters, I will die. I'll die.
We've said this so many times.
If it's released in theaters, oh my God.
Let's go on.
Okay, so we are on to Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at twogaymats@gmail.com, two spelled TWO, or if you are consuming this podcast via YouTube, you can leave a comment below and just be like, hey, this is for Email My Heart. Thank you.
Yes.
So the first question, actually, it wasn't a question, but I felt very attacked. It's actually from our friend Blythe, who emailed us and said, let's talk cookies. And I was like, oh no, this is going to lead to another fight.
I mean,
Dear Matt and Matt, first, I know you sometimes shy away from the title of influencer, but I recently had my first few hours away from my baby in the whole 3 months of his life, and I spent it in the theater watching Bros because of your influence. It was fantastic. You will continue to be a substantial influence in my life. Aww. Likewise, Blythe. I loved hearing about your favorite Halloween candies. Now, since per Mariah, 'tis the season, I'd love to hear about your favorite Christmas cookies. Mine are rosettes, but I also love a chewy gingerbread. On a related note, Matt Steele, I would like to challenge you to first smell, then taste a Walker's shortbread cookie.
Yes.
I wouldn't say this is an especially Christmassy cookie, but if that doesn't change your mind about shortbread cookies, nothing will. To me, someone who also doesn't love their sweets too sweet. They are absolutely divine. I love you both. Also, my sympathies to Jackson for his peanut allergy. Love, Blythe.
That's very sweet, Blythe.
I was trying to be like, oh, what are Walker's shortbread cookies? Let me look at a picture. I Googled a picture of the Walker's cookies and I was triggered because it was just like, oh, I've seen these boxes before.
Have you had them?
No, because they just look so dry.
Oh,
they
my
look so
God.
dry and plain, and I'm just like, I feel my mouth becoming a desert as I look at that image. But you know what, Blythe? If there is a Walker's shortbread cookie in front of me, I will do what you want me to do and smell it.
I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy a box and give it to you live on the podcast.
A whole
next
box?
week. A whole box.
You can keep the rest of the box. I'll just do the one, and I guess we'll do a live taste testing.
Let's do it.
For Walker's. Walker's better be paying us.
I know, right?
But what about Christmas cookies?
I have to say that I didn't grow up with Christmas cookies. Okay. Like, this was not a part of my culture. I feel like my brother's wife is a big Christmas cookies person, so she brings over Christmas cookies these days. And I'm always happy that they're around, but I don't think of cookies when I think of Christmas. Maybe a gingerbread cookie. I think of that.
I think of gingerbread cookies, and I think
like a sugar cookie even.
And I really do not like
sugar
cookies,
which you're wrong about. But I will say something that we were arguing about a bit on the Discord, and I apologize to Adam Parnell specifically because I was getting heated and I was a little tipsy in Vegas at the time. But
you off. You're hot.
I must say that sweet potato pie is the holiday staple of our family, and it should be the holiday staple of the world. I heard people in the Discord talking negatively about sweet potato pie, and my little heart couldn't take it. Like, there's literally nothing better. And I mean, I understand my mom has the best recipe, and you don't have that. So maybe that's why your, sweet potato pies are substandard, but truly the most brilliant, the best texture, and I can even make it and not fucking ruin it. Well, like, I was so happy the first year I was out here for Thanksgiving, I made a sweet potato pie, and it wasn't a disaster. I also have added in, my mom has added in some cinnamon for like a cinnamon version of it, which is even more flavorful. It's just lovely. It's perfect. It's light. It is also not too sweet. I feel like this would be a dessert that you could get behind. Have you ever had a sweet potato pie?
I've never had a sweet potato pie, so I could not comment on this discussion.
Right.
Yeah, it was a long talk about sweet potatoes in this Discord. If you would like to join the chat about sweet potatoes, become a patron at www.patreon.com/2gameats.
And since we're talking about stuff, I'm sure you'll talk about this later. If you have not early voted, please vote as soon as possible. Election day is Tuesday. We need everyone on the front lines voting in this midterms, voting blue however you can. It's important. Some people ignore the midterms, and we don't do that here at 2gameats.
No.
All right?
The Cathys do not.
The Cathys do
not. Yeah. Yeah, but as far as Christmas cookies go, I'm not a Christmas. I can enjoy a gingerbread moment.
Yes.
But like one cookie. Like, I can't do like eating multiple. I'm not a cookie person in general. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Blythe, but I will, Matt Palmer, as long as Matt Palmer's paying, I will sniff the Walker's gingerbread cookie.
You shouldn't apologize to anyone but yourself, because your life is worse because you cannot handle the greatness of a good cookie.
I don't know. I'm living a very good life. I mean, my face is healing.
That's true.
And so I'm kind of thriving right now. So
I don't know if my face is healing equals thriving, but like, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so the next question comes to us from Peter. Peter commented on our last podcast YouTube video, Email My Heart. Hey, Matt, I have an embarrassing question. The truth is, I already know the answer. A cute boy asked for my number the other week, and I gave them the number. They texted me soon after and want to pursue dating. However, the cute boy is 18 and I'm 23. Crying emojis. A whole 5-year gap with a teenager. I don't want to block them because that's mean, but I also can't pursue anything with them because it's inappropriate. The problem is I still think they're cute. Help talk some sense into me, please.
I appreciate this because you'll know at least what I'm going to say. But I also appreciate it because it's a normal thing to feel if a adult-aged person who is 18 is someone you find cute and is attracted to you. Of course, it's something to consider. And in many different age brackets, 5 years isn't crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like if Matt Steele was dating someone 5 years his junior, 5 years his senior.
Thank you for not saying a number.
You're welcome. Mariah taught me. If you were, I wouldn't bat an eye. The reason that this feels odd to you and would to me as well is because the 5 years junior is so young and you're at such different life points that it feels like the power dynamic is off.
And it's kind of just like when you are 23, you are in such a different space from any. It's kind of where it's kind of like, what do we have to talk about? Like, and I'm sure you could talk about things like, I have friends and coworkers who are much younger and everything, and we find things to talk about and have fun and everything. But in terms of like a life dating situation, it's just like, I don't know what there is to discuss here. Maybe when the boy is 21 and you are 26, like that seems more. And the thing is, Peter, you are
that's the
fully
thing.
aware that you are not interested in pursuing this.
Yes, and that little voice inside of you is telling you what you already know and is right, even though. Obviously, if this 18-year-old is cute, it's hard to follow through on the action. I agree. I wouldn't just block him. I'd be like, hey, I think you're very cute. I just don't think because of the difference in our age that it makes sense. I think there's a very nice way to let this person down easy in a way that like wouldn't hurt his feelings because like it's not his fault he's young.
Yeah, and the thing is like if he is a mature enough 18-year-old to like think that he can date a 23-year-old, he is mature enough to understand where you are coming from.
And if he's not mature enough and like throws like a water balloon at you, you'll be like, I made the right choice.
A water balloon?
Because
that's the only weapon he can get.
Yeah, exactly. At 18, he's a youth.
I know. Unfortunately, some people in the country can get a gun at a very young age like that.
Which is why we need to vote.
Which is why we need to vote. Thank you very
Yes.
much. So Peter, I'd say, follow each other on Instagram. A couple years from now, chat it up.
Yes.
See where you are in your lives then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, we also did get another question if you want to answer.
I saw that one. Is this the one about Love is Blind?
Yes.
I'm not caught up on Love is Blind yet, so can we hold that until I finish it?
We're going to put this one on hold.
Put that one on pause like
Okay.
Andy Cohen did to Dorinda when she got fired from Roni. All right, so Matt Steele, I have one question for you. What has been giving you moments, darling?
So we already said it in the podcast. Please vote. I am very, very, very nervous about these midterms because if things do not go our way, some really, really horrible things can happen.
Absolutely.
If the Republicans take control of Congress, who knows what can happen, who knows what they can block, and who knows what they can block in the future after the 2024 presidential election, which is the most scary thing. So I've been nervous for weeks and months, and but in the past couple days, seeing the demographics of the early voting and the early voters and everything, it is encouraging, especially seeing the discrepancy between the recent polls, which are very scary,
Yes.
and then seeing but young people and Democrats are turning out
Yes.
in record numbers to early vote, which can only hopefully mean good things.
Yes.
So that is a nice sigh of relief, seeing the early voting numbers
Right.
and everything like that. But that does not mean we should take it for granted
Yes.
and become complacent, because that is what happened in 2016. And that is why we are in this mess we are in now. So Kathy's out there and non-Kathy's, Kathy's and Jamie's unite together and vote either early or on election day,
Yes.
Tuesday, November 8th. Bring all of your friends to remind all of every one of my little coworkers. I am
must.
are you voting? Are you voting? And they're like,
What?
oh, I don't know. And I'm like, motherfucker, if I have to drag you by your hair, I will be like, get in this car. We are
Do
going
it.
to vote.
As
Let's
you
go.
should.
I am ready. I'm excited. I always love to vote on election day just because I find it fun. I don't know. You always like to vote early.
I love voting early. I love to just sit down and do the research I need to do. Because of course, when it's a Democrat, Republican, I'm voting Democrat. But there are a lot of different things to vote for. So I want to look up and make sure that I'm picking the candidate that aligns most with my progressive beliefs. And to do that feels easier than to have to go into the booth. And I haven't voted in person in such a long time. And I plan on voting by mail-in, or we just have a drop-off center up the street. I walked to it. So it has not been easier ever to early vote. But again, everything can change on election day. So if you have not voted as of Tuesday, just get to the polls and vote. Vote blue. It is so imperative. It's important. Matt Steele has said it all. I've said it again, but because it's important and it's all I want for Christmas.
For real. All we want for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
All we want to celebrate Beyonce's at some point visual release.
Yes.
Please. There are so many things on the ballot: abortion rights, reproductive rights, Social Security.
Yes.
Everything is so important, and voting rights. We need to pass those voting bills
Absolutely.
that are stuck in Congress right now. And we can only do that if we grow our numbers in Congress to actually get things passed.
Right.
That is the way to do it.
Yes. And I believe in us.
I believe in us.
We can do it.
We can do it.
And my giving you moments is the same.
Okay.
It is, you got to vote. I will also say we did put up a YouTube video that I'd love if you watch. It just got unblocked. It is about the music of 1997. And we do some video reactions to Mariah videos, Janet videos, Hanson, Brandy Cinderella,
The Spice Girls.
all of the ladies. And I will say in preparation for that video.
I love how you included Hanson in with the ladies.
I mean, yes,
All the ladies.
Hanson and the ladies.
We all thought they were ladies when we first
at the
saw them.
time.
At the time.
And but I will say on the drive over to Matt Steele's apartment to film this video, I was just listening to a Spotify playlist of like the biggest hits of 1997. It began with Got Till It's Gone. It had 4 seasons of Loneliness by Boyz II Men. And again, in the video, I kind of say, I make mention of not wanting to be those old people who are like, well, back in my day, music was XYZ. I just think there's nothing that's going to impact you more than the music that was out at the time that you fell in love with music. And 1997 is representative of that for me. And revisiting all of these classic songs in so many different genres, it was just hitting on so many different levels. It just it reminds me why I fell in love in music in the first place back when I was 10 years old, and I will always love music. Thank you. I'm just so thankful for the people that were making such incredible records back in the day. We love them. We must give them reverence, and Team 97 forever.
Team 97. I mean, when you were going through like the top 10 songs of the year that year, it was such various things. It was Jewel. It was It was like the Spice Girls. Yes. It was R&B, rap. And number 1 song, adult contemporary, Candle in the Wind.
Exactly.
Like the diversity of that top 10,
right.
like on Billboard that entire year was just so mind blowing. Such classic music, So it was a fun video to film.
Absolutely was. Was it fun to edit?
It got done. It got done. And then, of course, when I like tried uploading it and it was blocked, I was just like, oh, this is extra fun too.
Yes. I'm glad it got unblocked quickly.
It got unblocked quickly.
Thank goodness.
You know who was the reason why it was blocked?
I know, it was Mariah. Hey, she takes care of, she wants to make sure she gets that money. I get it. I understand. I appreciate. But make sure to give it a watch if you haven't. But thank you so much for tuning into the podcast another week. We'll be back again next week with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye, guys. Vote.
Bye
vote.
And vote. Vote, vote, vote. 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 Vote.